What's going on YouTube? Levi Adams here with some cool just replays for you. Um I decided with the way my Pokemon channel or like my Pokemon aspect works, when I try laddering I just go on tilt. And when I just want to battle, or like what I want to do is just get cool battles and then have fun. So what I did is I just dinked around in Ubers for like an hour and this is what I got. I got some pretty cool replays, some Greninja sweeps using the Dream Team as always, my 6 favorite Pokemon. I can go over to Showdown and show you guys the team. Dream Team. So you have Greninja with, you can't really see him that well, due to the way that I have the scene set up and I can't edit it with this program. Power Punch, Low Kick, Ice Punch, Water Shuriken actually puts in way too much work. DK, the Flygon, Draco Meteor, Earth Power, Flamethrower, U-Turn with Choice Guard, Modest Nature, get that extra damage, Fake Out, Knockoff, Volt Switch, Full Tackle Pikachu, Utility Smeargle, Special Mega Sceptile with Frenzy Plant over Giga Drain because we're in Ubers, and my Sleep Talk Flamethrower Focus Blast Solar Beam Typhlosion. Solar Beam helps get some damage off on Groudon. So we're just gonna go through the first game. Let's turn the music off real quick. Ooh, I like that dark color scheme a lot. So we're just gonna go through the game. I start off with my Smeargle. Let's actually go fast. He Mega Evolves and goes for the Protect, and I just choose to set up my Stealth Rocks because it's the best play. On the Earthquake, I choose to set up my Sticky Web too, just ensuring that I get some kills with stuff. And I believe at this point I go out into my Flygon, because Flygon can take any one hit from this thing, and I go for the Earth Power, which is a one-hit KO. So now he switches out into my Lugia, which means I have to switch, and I believe I go out into my, Sceptile, and I don't remember exactly why I went out of Sceptile. I don't know, it just seemed like what was worth sacking, pretty much. At this point, Sceptile didn't really do much for me in the game, so I decided to sacrifice it and get a little bit of damage off on Lugia. I go for the Fake Out, just to stall out a turn, really not doing much damage in the long run, and I go for the Volt Tackle to knock out the Lugia. Then he switches in his Arceus Ice. So I just go for the Volt Tackle to get some serious damage off on this thing and manage to get the Paralysis, which was actually pretty much the whole reason I won this game. So now I go out on my Greninja and go for the Power Punch just so I can start boosting myself, and I get a crit, which I crit this man like 7 times, I think. Well, not 7 times, but a lot of times. So then he sends out his Darkrai, and due to the Sticky Web, I am going to outspeed and go for the Low Kick, which is a one-hit KO, and I crit him again, which, again, for my opponent is very unfortunate. So he sends out Xerneas, thinking that it's a counter, and guess who gets another crit? I do. So, yeah, that happens. I can live any one hit due to the fact that I have the Focus Sash, so I go for the Water Shuriken, just trying to get some damage off, and I'm 3% away from killing it. And, of course, he gets off a Moonblast, but it's okay because I live. So I can just go for another Water Shuriken with that priority. I am able to outspeed, and my music is off. 1 second. I swear I clicked replay. Yeah. I clicked repeat. Weird. Alright, shoutouts to Zach Brenner for the music. And, his final Pokemon is Shaman Skyform, and I Ice Punch it for the KO. And that is that game. So, now let's go on to the next game. Make that color scheme dark real quick. Love that. And this game was really interesting. The last game was more of a sweep. And this game was just a game where I didn't think Greninja would do as much as it did, which was, it was actually insane. So here we are. My opponent sends in the Hawlucha, and I send in my my Smeargle just so I can start setting up. I set my Stealth Rocks just so I can get some damage off. I see that he has the Ho-Oh, and Ho-Oh is a huge threat, so I go out into my Greninja, and Greninja goes for the Ice Punch, which I don't remember if it knocked it out. No, it barely didn't. So now I go for the Water Shuriken, just enabling, or just making sure that I get the knockout, right? So he switches into his Abomasnow. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm just going to go for the Low Kick, because that should do some serious damage. And I get a crit, or no, I didn't get a crit, but I just hit it for super effective damage and killed it. So now he sends out the Ho-Oh. And I was like, well, okay, I don't want to sack anything, or like I wouldn't want anything else to die because, you know, Pikachu can come in and clean up this Ho-Oh if it needs to, like if it really needs to. And Sceptile and Flygon are my ways of beating Rayquaza. I could switch into Typhlosion, but the chance of him going for like a Roost or something is too high. So I just go for the Water Shuriken, and I get I only need 4 Water Shurikens to knock it out, and I get the knockout. So finally, he goes out into his Greninja, and I don't know, I assumed that this was a speed tie, but I was like, okay, well, here's where my Greninja dies, right? You know, this Greninja's probably going to outspeed, and I'm going to have to like try and play around it. So I go for the low kick, and I knock it out one shot. Just way too easy with a low kick. So he switches in his Garchomp, and of course I'm Mega Sceptile, so I go for the Dragon Pulse and one-hit KO the Garchomp, and his final Pokemon is Rayquaza, which also gets one-hit KO'd by the Dragon Pulse. So that is the second game that I was able to get, and as you can see, Greninja was just putting in way too much work. Like, way too much work. Oh my gosh. So, feeling cocky after those games, I go into this game. And, let's turn off my music real quick. So I start off with my Smeargle, and I go for the Spore on the Ho-Oh, and then I just start to set up my hazards as per usual. Stealth Rocks, Sticky Web, you know, same old, I suppose. And at this point, I don't really want to, like, I don't know, there's no point in me switching out Smeargle and just having something else take damage. So I'm like, okay, I'll start setting up with my Greninja. So I go for the Power Up Punch, as I think he goes for the Giga Drain, and he's not doing a lot of damage. So I go for the Power Up Punch again. I keep trying to do damage. He goes for the Earthquake and still is unable to knock me out. I'm like, okay, if I can get like 5 Water Shurikens here, I should be able to knock out this Ho-Oh easy. So I get 3 and a crit, but that is all I am able to get, and then he knocks me out with a Sacred Fire, and I definitely wasted Greninja way too quickly there because I would have been able to sweep his team. So I go into Pikachu and get the Fake Out, and I go for the Volt Switch, which is able to knock him out due to my Light Bulb boost, and I go out into my Sceptile. So he switches out into his Lucario, and I'm going to go for the Focus Blast. It's super effective. It's definitely going to kill unless I miss, and I do. So he goes for the Blaze Kick, thankfully. He doesn't have Ice Punch. He doesn't have, he doesn't go for Close Combat, which probably would have killed, honestly. Just because adaptability, Lucario is way too strong. So now he switches in his Keldeo, which I found to be a very bad choice. And I go for the Leaf Storm, and I miss. And I'm like, why, Sceptile, can't you hit anything? But thankfully, he doesn't have Icy Wind, he doesn't have some other sort of special attack, he doesn't use Secret Sword, he goes with Poison Jab, and Keldeo's physical attack is complete butterscotch. So, Sceptile is able to get another knockout on the Keldeo, and with so little special attack, I switch out into my Typhlosion, and luckily predict the Mew. So here, I tried to be cheeky, right? And I go for the Solar Beam, thinking that he's going to switch into his Kyogre, and Kyogre's going to die. But he did not. So he goes for the Sky Attack now, for whatever reason. And I was Choice Locked into my Solar Beam, so I couldn't have just switched it up and gone for a Flamethrower. So I got onto my Pikachu, and Pikachu is just like getting damage off on everything, knocks off the Mew and takes it out as I sacrifice my Typhlosion to the Kyurem's Earth Power. I switch into Pikachu, go for the Fake Out. I'm at this point just trying to win with Pikachu, and I was gauging how much damage Pikachu was going to do. So I go for the Draco Meteor on his Ice Burn, which, interesting attack choice. I mean, it's a cool attack choice, I guess. So I just go for a Draco Meteor on this Kyogre, just to get off a little bit more damage as he goes for the Avalanche, which, again, interesting play. I'm low on the Uber's Ladder, so that's why these games are like actually good. Then I go for the Volt Tackle to finish it off, and my Sceptile at 3% health is the only one left remaining. Now, these last two games, We're against the same player, and I'm just gonna... this first game, I played him once on the ladder already, and I used Sticky Web to set up. And as you can see, if anybody watches the Pokemon anime, this is Ash's team from the Kalos region. So he's running around in Ubers with this team, and I'm running around in Ubers with my team. Pretty similar teams, in all honesty. So I start off with my Smeargle. He starts off with a Greninja, and I believe I choose to set up the Stealth Rock. I didn't go for the Spore. I probably should have, just to like try and ensure more shenanigans. But I just set up the Stealth Rock, and I'm like, okay, I can make it through this game with just Stealth Rock. And because I played him earlier, I knew for a fact that when I sent out my Flygon, he was going to switch out his Greninja and go into his Goodra. So I'm like, okay, time to predict this fool and go for the U-turn. So I get a crit on the U-turn, which I'm not going to say totally mattered. But I go for the Ice Punch with my Greninja, and he's not gooey, thankfully. So I'm still able to outspeed his team, or the majority of his team, with Greninja. And I get the Ice Punch off and finish off the Goodra. So now I go for the Water Shuriken. I believe I get 4 or... No, I only needed 3. So I get 3 Water Shurikens, and I'm able to knock out the Goodra, or I'm able to knock out the Talonflame too. So he sends out his Noivern. Noivern goes for the Draco Meteor, but Greninja's a monster and is able to tank it. So I go for the Ice Punch now, and Noivern's gone. So now he goes into his Greninja. I'm like, okay, well, I know for a fact that my low kick is going to be able to kill it, but I don't know if I'm faster. And I'm thinking this happened last time too. And I was like, okay, so maybe it's a speed tie and he's just lucky and is winning the speed ties. But turns out he's Scarfed later in the game. I find that out due to my Sceptile. So Sceptile goes for the Dragon Pulse on his One Punch Man, and One Punch Man lives and goes for the U-turn. So now I don't have to worry about that unburdened Hawlucha, which is actually amazing. So he scarfed Greninja. I'm thinking, how the hell am I going to win this? I'm going to have to like pull some major shenanigans with Pikachu. So I go for the Fake Out. And I guess he didn't know that Fake Out was a good move to have on Pikachu. And I just go for the knockoff and finish off his Pikachu. So now I switch into my Typhlosion, because I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to be able to beat this thing. And then I switch out in my DK on the Gunk Shot, and he crits me. He crit poisons me with that Gunk Shot. And I was like, whoa, crap, this sucks. Because I thought he was going to switch out, maybe. Or I was like, well, why didn't I switch into DK in the first place? So I go for the Draco Meteor, and that's that. And DK is taking some hefty damage now, and I think I just go for the Draco Meteor, and I outsped, and I had no idea why the heck I outsped. Because if he's Scarf Greninja, why is he speed tying with a modest base 100 Mon? Maybe he like put all of his investment in attack and or a lot of investment in attack and special attack. That's like the only reason I could guess. So now I just go out into my Pikachu and finish it off with the Fake Out. So that was that game. And the final game against this guy is he challenged me personally, and this game I kind of messed up. And I set up a Sticky Web as opposed to setting up the Stealth Rocks, because Stealth Rocks was the more prominent hazard. But he switches out into his Goodra on my Dragon Pulse, which is a good play because it's Assault Vest Goodra. I know that from the first game because I knocked off an Assault Vest. And he goes for the Sludge Bomb as I switch into my Pyro, which I mainly switch into due to the fact that Pyro does like literally nothing. And I go for the Focus Blast on his Goodra because there was no point in going for the Fire type attack. He has 4 resists. I don't know. So I switch out into my Pikachu as he has out his Talonflame, and I go for the Fake Out. And I guess now he put Fake Out on his Pikachu, and I go for the knockoff on his Noivern, doing some serious damage, which is great. And I think I switch out into DK because I decided that DK does absolutely nothing this game. It's because he hasn't done like too much. I mean, he does speed tie with the Greninja, but I'm like, well, I have the Sticky Web up, so my Greninja is going to be able to take out his Greninja. So now I go out into Sceptile because I know I'm going to outspeed, and I go for the Dragon Pulse. So then he sends out his Greninja, and he forgets that the sticky web is up, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna outspeed you, but guess what? No, you're not, because I have Leaf Storm. So Leaf Storm takes him down, and he even says here, he just says fail, and I'm like, yeah, kind of. I didn't say anything back, actually, and on this Brave Bird, I just sacrifice my Pikachu. I go out into my Greninja, and I go for the Water Shuriken, and I'm able to knock out his Talonflame. So here's the thing, is his entire team, well, I can one-shot this Goodra with Ice Punch, no problem. Like, just watch. He was asking me why I go for Water Shuriken, and I decide, like, I use it for priority, pretty much. So here's what I do, is I go for the Ice Punch, and I barely missed the knockout, and he goes up to 40%. So I go for the Water Shuriken, right? I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm able to take care of this unburdened Hawlucha, and he just quits at that point, because there's no way he could win. His moveset is Fake Out Grass Knot, probably Volt Tackle, something else. So yeah, those were those games. I hope you enjoyed. I certainly enjoyed them. I want to draw them all out and in like kind of a comic form. But I have that's going to be projects for another time. So we are going to do that some other time. This month, for the month of Inktober, I'm going to be drawing. I should actually like draw one of these games. Honestly, I think that would be more fun than. Well, actually, I'm going to draw my game against Pokemon and one of these games, depending. Probably the Greninja sweep game, just because that game was fire. Or this second game that I had with Greninja, where Greninja just like unexpectedly low-kicked everything and killed it. So yeah, be looking forward to that. I'm going to be having a lot more drawing videos. I'm about to do a drawing session where I'm inking an original comic that I made. So yeah, so if you did like this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all those things that YouTubers ask you to do. And I will catch you guys next time. See ya.